Then I said just tell me what you want Richter, and then Dane said they usually go down after those hits boss, and I said I don't go down, and then Richter tried to fire a dart at me but I caught it and I said you people are really starting to bore me, and I yawned and I said I'm getting sleepy, so can we please wrap this up because it's well past my bedtime. Then Richter said okay, I know you're fucking miserable with your job Miles Lee Harris, and I know it's getting you nowhere and you want a way out and way to make a lot more money. I can give you that. And then I said $5 million, that's what I want Richter, I want $5 million. In exchange you will get your show, but I want to wear a mask and you fuckers can call me Guns Akimbo or the One Punch Man, I don't give a fuck, just let her go now. And she joins me on this little adventure of mine and me and her team up. And then Richter said oh fuck okay, and then I said give me 2 guns, and then Richter said you will have to come with me to my factory for guns, let her go first. And then Richter let her go, and then she walked over to me crying and I said it's okay, don't worry. And then Richter said follow me, and then we walked to a blacked out van that I can't see out of, and then I smirked at Richter and said interesting, you picked a car that I can't see out of. And then Richter smirked and said you're not the only that smart Miles. Then Richter said get in, and I laughed and said I wouldn't go as far to say that you're smart, especially for attacking someone like me and the people that I love. Like I said, there's a reason why I'm the best cop on the police force, stupid fuck. Anyway, let's get on with this because I've got better things to do like shooting fucking idiots. And then Nix smiled big after I said as long as nothing happens to Nix or anyone else I care about, I won't kill all of you with my bare hands, are we clear? And then Richter said crystal clear, and I said good, then you got yourself a deal old man, especially if you can pay me. I'm a good cop really, but the job pays shit for shit work and it's dirt cheap, I don't like it, so yes I will do this fucking little game show, whatever it's fucking called, ass jizz or whatever. And I laughed and so did Nix DeGravies, and I said you assholes have no idea who you're dealing with, but you will find out soon enough. But I remember you were standing there Richter that night, you must have saw what happened when I pulled her family and Nix herself from that exploding car, so I'm betting you know exactly what I'm capable of, but your little dumbass thugs don't really know shit, did they? And then he frowned and I said that's all the answers I needed right there Richter, that fucking look on your face. And he said kid, you're really starting to get on my nerves. And I said yes, I tend to do that a lot with assholes, people say I talk too much sometimes. And then Dane tried to do something and I quickly knocked him out, and I looked at Richter and I said you should really get a better hobby soon. And then we finally got to his factory and they gave me the iconic guns from the movie, except this time I also get a mask and they can't nail the guns to my hands because I'm a pathetic weakling in this storyline. I'm a beyond powerful version of Miles Lee Harris. And then I asked Nix are going to wear a disguise Nix, and she said no, and I said suit yourself, but I would prefer you wear a mask for obvious reasons. And then that asshole Richter used our real names in the Schism tournament, and Nix used her father's military training and what she learned over the years, but I was doing things she never seen a human do before. I was literally shattering human heads with my fists. I even kicked a man so hard it shattered his spine and he died instantly, and I chopped people's heads off using my bare hands, and I even smashed 2 big men's heads together instantly, killing them like Jason Voorhees does to some of his victims in Friday the 13th. And I even squeezed some men's heads so hard that it burst like tomatoes, but I mostly acted as support and I used my guns to help Nix DeGravies. And she said impressive, you're really good at shooting. And I said I've been training for a long time and I've been a cop for a long time, and I said it's not over yet. And then one day me and Nix went to a criminal drug lab to get a lot of guns and ammunition, and she looked at all the cocaine and I said Nix no, don't do it. And she said damn it, that looks so good. And I said Nix, I need to tell you something, I love you and I don't want you to fucking kill yourself with drugs. Okay, drugs come from losers really, and I know you're not a fucking loser, you will be fine without that bullshit, it doesn't help, trust me. I tried to do drugs too just to make myself feel better again, but this world sucks sometimes and I'm never really going to feel better unless I'm with people like you that I love, so don't fucking do it because I fucking need you and I love you. Okay, there's your fucking answer. And then she kissed me.